We'll move on to item 4. Hold public hearing, waive the first reading, and introduce the ordinance enacting a 1.87% rate increase for Recology San Bruno garbage and recycling service to be effective September 1, 2021. And I'm going to turn it over to the city manager for a report and to update us on the effectiveness.
Sure. Let's get the PowerPoint queued up. All right, looks like we're good. So thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, members of the public at home. We're here tonight for the first reading of a garbage rate increase for the fiscal year 21-22. As the council will remember, and our finance director, Chin-Yu Sun, will discuss in her presentation, there was an initial request for a rate increase. The City Council requested that be delayed. And in addition, we initiated an abandoned waste program that at the conclusion of the presentation, I'll give the council some updates on. But with that, why don't I turn it to our finance director, Chin-Yu Sun, to go through the presentation.
Honorable Mayor and the members of the council, my name is Chin-Yu Sun, the finance director. Here today, we're just going to review the garbage rate increase proposed for the fiscal year 2021-22. The objective is to receive an overview of Recology's rate application for this current fiscal year and we'll describe the review process. And the second objective is to waive the first reading and then introduce an ordinance enacting 1.87 rate increase for the Recology effective October 1, 2021. I want to say something about this October 1 date. In the staff report in the ordinance printed out, we had September 1, 2021 as the effective date, which was also agreed upon between the city and the Recology. Unfortunately, due to some rate changes, due to the date switches, we find that September 1 is not legally feasible for us to enact the rate increase. So to be completely compliant by the current law, the rate cannot become effective until October 1st. And I'm sorry for the date issue. In the agenda will cover the franchise agreement with Recology. We'll also cover the rate adjustment calculation for the 21-22, and we'll show you a comparison of historical rate adjustments, and mostly for the interim year and then detailed rate year adjustments. And we'll also give you a look at a residential and commercial toll rate change after this rate increase. Of course, the rate increase is postponed until October 1st, and we'll show you a sample of public notice. Now there's some information specifically with the date in the public notice we need to update. And then we'll also give you a review of the protest period timeline to implement new rates, and then we'll provide your staff recommendation and answer questions you may have. The franchise agreement between the City of San Bruno and Recology became effective in July 1, 1998, and expires June 30, 2024. It's for solid waste collection services. It covers the billing, record keeping, billing fees, etc. The fiscal year 21-22 rate adjustment is based on an interim rate year analysis, primarily based on a CPI, and staff and finance have reviewed and verified the calculation. The detailed rate review, it needs to be done by an independent consultant. It occurs every 3 years also, and this detailed rate year review is due for the fiscal year 2022-23. We will take on that task during the early spring of 2022 calendar year. This proposed rate adjustment for 21-22 is at 1.87%. The new rate will take effect in this current year if approved by the council, and the rate change factor is solely built on the CPI calculation. And here is a historic look of the rate increase. The dark columns are the detailed rate year increase. The gray column are the gray columns are the interim year increase. In average, the interim rate year increase is about 2%. Our current proposed increase was 1.87%, is well below the average. Here is a look of a comparison with the customers paying now and what the customer will have to pay after October 1st. For 32 gallon toter, mostly this commonly used by residential, the increase is only about 60 cents per month. The proposed rate increase is to happen on October 1st, and then with the postponement of the rate increase, and then Recology was very generous to initiate abandoned waste program in July. In this abandoned waste program, Recology offered to survey non-problem area daily and collect waste when discovered, monitor all other area when drivers are on regular scheduled routes. With the city permission, the Recology obtains access to the San Bruno response app and service the reported item within 24 hours. We have seen some reports in the San Bruno response from residents for garbage pickup. And then Recology will determine the effectiveness of the pilot abandoned waste program after 2 months, and they will decide whether the additional staff is necessary. I believe the 2 months ends at the end of this month. This is a public notice. We mailed out the notice on June 29th. In the public notice, we have a public hearing schedule, protest period. We also spell out the approval process, rate adjustments, and the proposed increase for garbage recycling and organic container types. So far, as of today, we received 20 protests from residents. Legally, to have the protest to be considered by the council, we need to have at least a half of the resident protest. So the 20 protests is way below the requirements. And here is the timeline. We started earlier in the year, in June 22nd, City Council directs staff to start a 45-day notice period to property owners. We mail out a notice on 29th. Actually, sorry, the timeline, the public hearing should be changed to August 17th. So originally we scheduled on the 10th. But I believe the 10th was not feasible for all the council members, so it's actually today. The second hearing will be scheduled on the 24th, which is in about a week. And then legally, the rate increases can happen on October 1st. Staff recommend to waive the first reading and then introduce ordinance enacting 1.87% rate increase for Recology San Bruno garbage and recycling service to be effective on October 1st, 2021. And that ends my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much for the report. If you'd be so kind as there, perfect. Thank you so much. At this time, before we open it to the public, since this is a public hearing, I'd like to hear if there's any comments or additional information from the general manager for Recology.
Hi, thank you, Mayor Medina and council members. That was a very nice, thorough presentation by staff. What I wanted to do is be able to jump in and just talk about and give you an update on, and a reminder actually to all those listening, that the Recology and the City of San Bruno is hosting the Compost Giveaway this Saturday at Lions Field. We will have free compost for our residents. It's bring your own bucket and follow all safety protocols by wearing a mask. And you will then shovel your own compost. The doors will be open into your 5-gallon bucket. and enjoy the nice rich compost that is created by the organics that our residents produce. The other item that I wanted to also bring to your attention is that we are in discussions with the church where we had our last community drop-off day, and we are hopeful to be having our third drop-off day in October. So we have began discussions with the church, and they are very open to have us back. And so we're looking to secure a Saturday in October for that next event. So thank you for letting me make those two announcements, and I will give it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you for those announcements. This is a public hearing, so at this time, I'm going to open it to the public. If anyone from the public wishes to speak on this, now would be the time. Once we do close the public hearing, there will not be another opportunity in which to speak. So any hands raised at this time?
Mayor Medina, I'm seeing no hands raised.
Okay, thank you. Can I have action from council to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion
I'll second.
and second, Medina Hamilton, to close public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. I have a 4-0, all ayes, to close the public hearing. With that said, we'll bring it back to council now for questions. Vice Mayor Medina, and then we'll go to Councilmember Mason.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, staff, for the report. Just wanted to remind our residents, the customers of Recology, of this process, right? The biggest gripe is, why do they come back and want to raise the rates every year? And it's in the contract. If they didn't have it in the contract, they would be subject to losing money and not being able to provide the service. So I appreciate that Recology did allow the rate increase to be delayed until now. It is in their contract to have this type of rate increase. And although I also dislike paying anything more than I ever have in the past, it's understandable. When I look at the gas tank that I fill up, the amount of increase in one fill up of tank of gas is almost as much as the increase for the full year here. On average, 60 cents a month for the service is understandable, and it's available in the contract. I have not had experiences with people telling me how Recology does not do a good job. So this isn't a service issue. This is a contract issue. And I wanted to ask Kirsten a question regarding the compost program, because I know there's a lot of people that are currently back into gardening with all the COVID stay-at-home stuff. And that question basically is it 1 5-gallon? Is it 10 5-gallons, or how many 5-gallons you could pack in your vehicle?
We publish it as a 1 5-gallon bucket for a resident, Councilmember Medina, but we did double up our supply this year for that reason. So we will have 2 debris boxes of compost at Lions Field. It's on your honor system. We're not going to police anyone. Some might need more than others. So we have yet to run out. So we just ask that you be mindful and only take what you're actually going to use.
Excellent. I look forward to the additional Saturday in October event. That's an interesting title of it for now, but I think I'm sure it will be successful again. I wanted to comment that I did go by Recology and had a drop off of my microwave and my coffee maker that went out for some reason in the same week, but it was really easy to just go by and just drop it off. And I think I did let Kirsten know that this is probably something that we need to let our public know a little bit better about how really easy it is to drop off those materials. And my last question is on the garbage can lids. Have we been able to get any progress in how we could retrofit those lids so that they don't fly open and dump waste in neighborhoods?
No. To answer your question simply, no progression. What we've kind of been focusing on is getting the customers to not overfill their bins at the moment, to right size them into the right size cart. So our staff's kind of been focused on in that direction to get them to right size their cart. So we have not made any more progression on attaching the locks, because at that time, there will be a cost involved. So we're trying to go the other direction and have the residents do their part. Right.
And if you're on good neighborly terms, you could borrow your neighbor's space for one time that you needed it. And it's all those cardboard boxes that people are ordering through Amazon. It is what I'm seeing in the recycle bin that are ajar, if not. But anyhow, most of the time they stay in place. Those are my questions for now. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go around the room once. Now everybody switched the screens here. Councilmember Mason.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on where we are with the annual fundraiser for the schools.
Annual fundraiser. Now that the schools are back in session, our Way Zero will connect with the principals at those schools to see what their needs are and to see, to work together with the principals and maybe the superintendent to see what we can put in place. So now that schools are back in, we'll let them settle in and give them a few weeks to get on their feet, and then she will be connecting with the principals.
Was that it, council member?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Council member Hamilton.
Yes, thank you. And Kirsten, I just wanted to know if you have any preliminary information about how the abandoned waste program is going. I know it's too early to have hard data and all that, but just, anecdotally, does it seem to be going as expected?
It's a good question, Councilmember Hamilton. I think it's going, from our end, we think it's going very well. We're seeing a lot of requests come in through the San Bruno Response. We seem to be getting to those within 24 hours. We're visiting about 6 to 8 hotspots on a daily basis and finding items at those locations daily. And then we're also picking up about 6 to 8 additional locations on their regular route. So it's going rather well. We're finding that we pick up in one location and he'll do the route, and as he passes by that same location, a new item has appeared. So right now it's kind of a never-ending loop that we're trying to catch up, but I think it's going rather well. I look to the council to let us know. Hopefully you're driving around San Francisco and seeing an improvement, but from our end, it's going well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Councilmember Hamilton. And I do think we were going to get more of an update in October. And again, it's just a few weeks, but thank you for that comment. As far as for me, I would just say, Vice Mayor brought it up about trying to utilize the trash receptacle correctly, and the cost is about 60 cents a month. Would also tell folks, if they analyze and they can do more recycling, they can go to the smaller garbage can, which you have the same can, they just have an insert that goes in it, and that saves you about $7 difference from the regular 32, just as for information. With that, I think those are our questions. Then we have actions before us as a council, unless there's anything else from my colleagues? Okay,
Mayor, I'll
so
make
we,
a motion.
Councilmember Hamilton, this is in regards to waiving the first reading.
Correct. I was going to make a motion that we waive the first reading and adopt the ordinance enacting a 1.87 rate increase for Recology, San Bruno Garbage and Recycling Service to be effective October 1, 2021.
Okay, so we have a motion to waive the first reading and introduce the ordinance. Is there a second? There's a
I'll second
second. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hamilton,
Aye.
Councilmember Mason,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Marty Medina.
Aye.
Mayor Rico Medina.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. That being the conclusion of the business at this time,